Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. Street players don't look like runway models. And let me give a shout out to this brother. He mentioned it in a comment. He didn't ask for the video, but I said, damn, I gotta address that. Because he was talking about street players. And when I say street players, I don't necessarily mean like some Pookies and Ray Rays. I'm talking about people in the real world, man. Real world. And I'm basing this on men that I have known to be getting theirs. Like real true to the game players. And that's some guys that be talking about, oh, well, measuring stuff or some dumbass PUA routines. Like real dudes who getting real pussy out here. Because I've known them really all my life. And I saw who was getting play in that. I mean, and let's be real with it. First of all, there might be an exception here and there, but the majority of them don't look like they could be some model or even over 6 feet. That's some bullshit by some that's some bullshit believed by some basement dwelling people or some people capping on here when they even be saying, if you out in the real streets, you see who the fuck getting pussy. And just being out in life. Now, I'm going to base this. People say, well, how you know? Dude, I'm out here, man. I ain't no basement dwelling motherfucker. And shit, most of the jobs I've worked on had multiple women, multiple players. And after a while, you be like, well, damn. It ain't who the media try to promote. Because even with body game and stuff, you can work out a lot, but there's only a small percentage of men who are going to have, like, that ASP body. In fact, according to Cousin Tito, only 1% of men are ASPs. And if you talk about fitness models, like, got that real tight-ass shit, that's a small percentage. I remember a personal trainer on YouTube said only 1 in 20,000 men, 1 in 20,000 going to have showing abs. You know? And even with that, it don't mean they're going to be that on that player thing. Because a player, look, here's the thing. A player is a guy who definitely gets multiple women. Because first of all, yeah, if you look good and stuff and got your body tight, yeah, you can get a woman. Most dudes can get a woman. But I'm saying multiple women consistently. You know? Because I saw, if you look at the average amount, any country, the average amount of sex partners a man might have, and I ain't even sure if this is talking about just men, but maybe up the highest was 14. I saw some and it said Turkey. You know, and I was like, 14. And I don't even know if they were just counting, just I glanced at it, and there were some other countries in there, but they might have been counting women too. But in general, though, and this is on some studies, average man might have 8 sex partners in life that he didn't pay for. And on my Patreon, I talked about, I even addressed that. Most men ain't getting it like that. And even some guys you think, a bunch of women might say, oh, he cute. That don't mean he getting any. I'm talking about real players, like, the women fucking them. Seriously. Because I'm one of those dudes, women be telling me all this shit for one simple reason. I don't judge them on it, or at least to their face. But if you take an honest look at the men who turn up, the men who I even refer to as Mr. Goodbar, you might have a couple of them. You do have maybe a few could, they might have that model face, but then they might not have the same body. They might not have the same body and stuff. And if you look at the guys who are primary play, most of them, they in decent shape. I've never met a sloppy dude. Most of them play ball. Some type of ball. Look like they can hang on like some ball court, football field or something. Right? But they ain't going to be perfect. In fact, Cousin Tito referred to them as roughnecks. And we actually talked about different body types and kind of touched on this in this video I did when we were talking about body types. I'm going to put that in the description box and stuff. But if you look at the street players, the dudes really getting pussy out here. Like in the streets, in the real world. If you really look at them, and these are the ones that you can even see, because a lot of ones you ain't seeing what they doing, you'd be surprised. And like I said, I just know, see, one thing y'all got to understand with me, because I haven't talked about the shadow world, but I know how people move in the shadows. I know what's up and shit. In fact, you can know when somebody get fucked and shit if you really know how to look. I remember when I was a freshman in college and stuff, orientation. So this big old Italian dude, Italiano. And he wasn't no swelt dude either. He was a big old dude. Big pasta and meatball eating motherfucker. And stuff. And I remember he was standing next to this fine ass young blonde woman. And he's smiling, she's sweating. I ain't even know him. I said, you hit that, didn't you? He's like, yeah. You know, if you take an honest look, you out here in the real world, you take an honest look who be having, like, really, especially in the streets and stuff. The real, like, not just out in public, but in the streets. You be seeing who the guys who be having multiple baby mamas and all of that. And, you know, they ain't married to them. Shoot, they don't be looking like no fashion model or something. They be looking rough as hell. Shoot. Be looking like, at best, construction workers or some shit like that. Because it's the real fucking world. In fact, there's a video, one of my favorites. I've shared this a lot. I put this in the comments a lot. Like, it's called A Brief Chat with Stan. And I'll put that in the description box. It did a quick interview. I saw him on the streets and everything. Somebody I know, I see around. And that dude's straight up player. And he kind of refutes, just his very presence refutes a lot of the bullshit, like even some of these black pillars things. It refutes it. And he out here to this day. In fact, I saw him the other day. And see, dude about 5'4". Dude about 5'4", older. And I've seen the women throwing the pussy at him. Because like I said, I'm out here. And y'all be surprised. Y'all be surprised how many people I know just driving around just my area. And I'm outside of Baltimore and stuff. And I got friends out here. Got friends every place. Know somebody or people know my face. I'm out in the real world. And see, a lot of people don't want to deal with that shit because they want to be on some little fantasy and shit. They want to be on some little fantasy and say, well, the statistics say this. Go take your ass out. And if you want to get academic about it, it's called qualitative research. You're in the fucking field. But seriously though. And if you, one of the things is if you all you have to do is peep what they doing and you really understand game. Because two things, and shout out BGS, he broke down four basic elements of game. One, the environment you in, where you living and everything, you know? Now, personally, I had added, like, whatever environment you create in your home and stuff, but it's really wherever you at. Where you at? Are you in a target-rich environment where there's going to be plenty of women? You working on jobs where there's plenty of women? Because, shoot, I've worked in the government, plenty of women. Several gyms, plenty of women. Retail at a major department store, oh, you see everything there and shit. You see everything. I vended at numerous festivals where there's a ton of people. All you had to do is sit back and you can watch who's doing what. And like I said, I just know some players, and like I said, they in decent shape. Look like they could be, you know, most of them look like they play some type of ball. A lot of football players. I'm gonna tell you what. That roughneck build, like construction worker, that solid build, dudes like that be like tearing up some ass. Shit, I've known some women, if I was friends with some of those dudes, like, you know, solid dudes, and a woman was cool with me, she said, hey, who your friend? You know? Seriously, you be thinking about it, but the main thing is a good body build, at least. That's why I emphasize body game. I don't expect anybody to get like super cut, and definitely don't be juicing yourself up or anything. And you don't have to be super cut. It helps, but yeah, that's a tough road. But at least like look like you like active, like you can do shit. In fact, somebody on a video yesterday mentioned something about, it was yesterday or the day before, mentioned something about construction workers. Women be going crazy over them, those motherfuckers, and they be spitting. Also, you know, because a lot of people be getting caught up in the face. Hey, if you got it, fine, but let's just be real. A lot of players, they don't have a face that stand out like that. Let's just be real with it. So y'all gonna tell me, and I want to say, you want to tell me Pookie and Ray Ray look like they could be a fashion model? And y'all know, like, it's funny, a lot of motherfuckers don't be talking about like some street thugs or something. or some of these prison body motherfuckers. And don't use Jeremy Meeks. That's one person. People use one example out of like, what, a million or something, say, well, what about him? And even him, he wasn't really a player. People say that, but I'm still waiting for somebody to show me any indication he was like, not a bunch of women like checking him out. Yeah, they were checking him out. How many actually fucked him? He wasn't really a player. Motherfucker. In fact, you get a lot of motherfuckers like that. I'm talking about players, motherfuckers who get multiple women and stuff. And when you actually see them, it's like, ain't what people think and stuff. And that's the thing, man. And, you know, but it was gonna get into, if you really look at what they bringing, right? What they bringing. All right, so the environment thing, already kind of mentioned that. They'll, like I had a video talking about good looking versus looking good. They at least fix themselves up and stuff. They at least fix themselves up. But anybody who live in like any of these cities, anybody been like in some black communities or even poor white communities, know your style of clothes is important. Why do you think motherfuckers be killing over Jordans? Shit. Why you thinking? Now, I'm just gonna say, I wasn't even gonna say something, but you know, sometimes you just gotta let a motherfucker know. So I'm like, let me turn this off. Seriously, man. Why you think motherfuckers be like all stylish? In fact, in that video, I'm sharing a brief chat with Stan. When I saw him the other day, man, he was hooked up head to toe. Even his face mask, he was wearing a face mask, because, you know, brothers out, you know, black people, man, we gonna wear the mask, most of us, many of us. But my man had a mask on. I mean, he was hooked up from his hat, had the mask, sweatsuit on. He had some black and red kicks on. I was like, shit. Yeah, so if you look at them, what they got, they'll have that mouthpiece. They'll keep themselves in decent shape. Not, like I said, not no supermodel thing. Have that clothing, because that clothing magnified. Like, women, they go crazy over style. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. Seriously, women will look at somebody, they ain't stylish or something, and they be like, he corny, he lame, and shit. Anybody know that? Anybody been in the streets? Anybody, if they can't say they've been in any streets or something. Now, if there's something different outside this country, okay, fine. But I'm telling you what's here. That's the only game I can talk about. DC, y'all. Southeast DC, Baltimore. Shoot. Even in the county I lived in Edgewood. Look it up, Edgewood, Maryland. Look the shit up. So it's like, you understand that, and just being in the real world. And that's the general thing. And, you know, because some people, you see, one of the problems is people see one part of it, you know. And I'm gonna be real. Let me hit you with something else. People with the runway models, a lot of times, especially out in the real world, women be looking at them, do we question their sexuality? That's why it's like, it's actually better if you got, like, you know, you ain't looking at stuff like all that. Women straight up question that shit. They be like, phew. That's why beard game got so big. Or, you know, if you know there's some players, or they even say for men, the men should let some stubble grow out. You know? Seriously. I mean, that's just a reality. You know, has some type of flavor to you or something. You know, it's like you know, you got that Thanksgiving turkey. If you just put it in the oven, don't season it or anything. And seriously, that's just the game right there. That's the main thing. That's why I always talk about let the barber bless you. The street players, they just fix their shit up. They got that mouthpiece, just that good conversation. And boom. It is what it is. And it's the real world. That's why I say to men, go outside. Sometimes if I get somebody and they want to be, you know, disagreeing, and I'm like looking at it and say they don't know what they talking about, I say, what street you from? What streets? What streets are you from? You know? Seriously. I'm like, you out here? You know what's going on? you know? And that's just a real, and see, here's my whole point with it all. I'm tired of seeing some motherfuckers out here. Like, you got women, they want to give it up, but some guys, they don't have self-esteem. They think, well, I don't look like this, or they be talking about, well, I ain't that tall. I'm going to tell you what, I say 90% of the players, like legitimate true to the game players I've known, weren't as tall as me. And with shoes, I'm just at 6 feet. So I'm like, if they shorter than me, they getting pussy, what's your excuse? And someone was short too, even shorter stature, still getting this. You know what they did? You know what they did? They just got themselves in good shape, make sure the drip was good. Just dealt with, had that conversation. One, just had that confidence. They ain't let the shit stop them. So, like I said, shit, my man Stan, he about 5'4". And the reason I even interviewed him, I even said it in the video real quick. He had like spit some game at like 3 women. They were like, they were smiling and shit. They were receptive to his shit. Plus, I just know him. I know how like young girls be throwing some shit at him around here. So, I mean, I'm sitting there witnessing the shit. So, I'm like, yeah, but that's just knowing, look, man, and it's just being real, man, because I'm going to just say this, man. People got to get off of some dubious shit or some like 20-second clip off some TikTok or something. Get out here in the world, man. Get out here in the motherfucking world. Regardless of where you live. Regardless of where you live. Get out here. Interact. Pay attention. Because that's the thing. Because I'm seeing too many motherfuckers, they caught up and then they be like, dude, just be who you gonna be, man. Just be who you gonna be. All you had to do is shit. Just a little bit of fixing up. You can get playing just really, honestly, man. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much money you got. You still gotta talk to them. So what good is all that? I don't care what you look like. I don't care how muscular you are. If you don't have that, if you can't have that conversation with them, what good is it? And that's all the street players do. So anyway, that's all I got for today, yo. Get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.